Hey, Jonathan from Buffalo Modular, and we are here in beautiful Ellicottville right now for a house set of a 4-box chalet that's going up here in this development project that we've been working on. You've seen the other videos that we posted on this. We're going to be posting more because there's going to be more houses going up. But we're here on set day right now, and so I thought I'd just walk you guys through a few things that are going on here today. So we got this nice long winding driveway in. Like I said before, all these properties are large. There's several acres large, each one of these properties. So, I mean, while it's a development, it really doesn't feel too much like a development when you look at a driveway like this, right? This driveway just keeps going here. So, we're here, we made it. A little out of breath, but we're all the way up the hill now. So they're unwrapping box number 4 right now. And this is the way it should go. I mean, it's not even lunchtime and we're, you know, about to finish setting the modules on the foundation. So let's take a look and see how things are going. So again, being a 4-box chalet, this is the roof right here. It's all wrapped up to keep it nice and tight. You can see the other 3 boxes here. We'll go around. So you got the walkout basement. You got the big doors, just like the other house. You know, 2 fixed panes and then the swing doors on both sides of the center line of the house. Okay, and then you got the upstairs, which you can just barely see in here. Some of the loft space that's going to be finished on the backside. But what we're looking at, excuse me, what we're looking at here is the finished ceiling on the inside of the house. So typically chalets, you're always going to start with it being 2 modules. So 1 and 2, and then the upstairs is actually typically flipped up with the roof, is typically how that works. But obviously every so often we get folks that say, hey, no, actually right away I want to use that upstairs space. A lot of folks look to, you know, keep their square footage down. I don't need it right away, I'll use it later, I'll finish it later. So unfinished is great, then I don't get taxed on that square footage up there either, which is always nice. And then maybe I'll finish it later. But these folks wanted it finished right away. I think all these chalets in this development are all going to be 4 boxes actually. There might be 1 or 2 that are 2 boxes, but I think they're pretty much all 4 boxes here. So they're just unwrapping the 4th box right now, so they can pick it up with the crane. You see the crane right in the middle of the sun. It's gonna pick it up, swing it around, and set it down on top of this this other box. And then you saw all the wood that was already assembled on the front of the carrier that you saw as I passed by. What that is you can kind of see it here. You'll see it better when the house, or when this other module gets set on top. That's for the peak. Those are all the pre-built sections for the peak, and then they just got to deck it and sheet it, and it's all set. So it's a really great setup if you're planning to have the upstairs finish right off the bat with, like, say, like a bedroom and a bathroom or something like that. Some variation of that is where it makes sense to do it in advance. If you're doing less than that, if you're going to do it as like a just a wide open loft or something like that, I would recommend just finishing it on site. It's not that we can't do it, it's just it might be more cost effective for you. The only X factor in that is the availability of contractors on site, which inherently is some of the benefit of modular, right? And so that becomes one of the big benefits of having it as 4 boxes rather than 2, is if you're in a more of a remote location where it's really hard to get local contractors, that becomes a huge advantage to modular, is that you can get so much finished in advance. And so naturally we get folks that say, well, what if I took this part of the house out? What if I, you know, I don't know, what if I didn't do flooring, or what if I didn't do cabinets? Or every once in a while I'll get somebody that'll say, well, what if you know, just open stud on the inside? Well, the more things you pull out of the project that can be done modular, that can be done in advance, the less it financially feels like it makes sense to do modular, because it starts to look more and more and more and more financially like a site-built home. Because, I mean, if you think about it, you are moving in the direction of site build. You're doing more and more things on site. And so because it's all the same materials, you know, the code's the same for modular and site build. So because it's all the same materials, it makes sense that cost-wise, you're gonna start to look a lot more like a site-built home the more things you strip out of it. So I would say if you're looking to strip things out of it and finish things on site, wherever you can, obviously the interior and exterior stitching and seaming is a great spot to to finish some of that inside and outside on site, save yourself some cost, because most of those numbers are really just labor numbers. So if you can do that work yourself, the materials will be there with the house. That saves you some, saves you some money, and a great opportunity for that. But where I was going with that is, if you said, hey, strip out all the things that make sense, I would say the things that make the most sense to strip out, if you're gonna be finishing as much as you possibly can on site yourself, because either you really want to or you got specific finishes that you're looking for, would be things like cabinets, would be the flooring, and potentially like tile showers and things like that. It's not that they can't be done for less modular, usually they can, but those are the things that I would say there's some value in stripping those things out for on-site finishes. For example, you want to do a really specific tile shower with all sorts of inlays and stuff like that. You're gonna want a tile contractor to spend his time, spend a good amount of time focused on that project, doing that on site and making it exactly as you want it to be. Another thing would be if you said, hey, I want hardwood floors, I want engineered hardwood floors. Well, the problem comes in of the shipping of the house. Vinyl plank floors and things like that tend to ship a lot better than like an engineered hardwood. There's too much opportunity for popping and stuff like that to happen, and then you're gonna have to peel back all of that floor and reinstall it. You end up wasting a whole lot of time and essentially money as well. So it's just not really worth it to do that. I would just say, just get the house sent with the subfloor in and just leave it there. Cabinets is really more so, I'm telling you, you're not gonna save money on cabinets. Whether you're going kind of middle of the road or you're going high end, you're really probably not gonna save money on cabinets. The potential that you have for doing the cabinets on site would be if you said, hey, I already have cabinets. That's an option. We've had people do that before. Or it would be like potentially you saying, hey, I'm actually gonna get some Amish made cabinets done on site. That's, that's more of a design decision, kind of like the shower, right? More of a design decision that you're trying to undergo there. But again, you want to get as much done as you possibly can from the factory, especially if you're in one of those remote locations where it's harder to get folks on site to do some of the finishing work and that. So just some things to think about for your project. So I just want to show you, as it's sitting here on the ground, just how much of this house is done in advance. You got the plumbing for the toilet in here. You got the vanity in there. There's another vanity that's going to go right there as well. You got the bedroom all done. You got the loft space all done. It's all finished already. Finished, right? And it's pretty amazing. So they're just setting this fourth box right now. You can see they're easing it into place. They got the winch on there to get it nice and tight up against the other three. And so they're just settling it down right into place. It's gonna be a perfect fit. And we'll walk up through this thing just as soon as we can. Okay, so you can see all 4 modules are set here. And what they're doing right now, this piece right here, so the sun's right at us here. They're setting the wind column on this marriage wall of the house. So you can see, if you look real close, you can see right there, there is this gap in the framing, right? And so that's exactly where that wind column is going to go, and that's going to support a lot of the load there, allow that to be as wide open as it is. So they're setting that right into place, and it'll cross over all 4 sections. It'll connect them all together and make this thing like a rock. Okay, so I just climbed up inside the house. They're not working on it right now, so I figured this is a good time to walk through because it shouldn't be too terribly noisy. So you can see, here's the side entrance to the house, right? So this is kind of the front door of the house, right? So they did this nice wood door, kind of similar to the one for the other chalet that we showed you recently. Obviously much smaller, mudroom space. Still spacious, plenty of space in here, but the other one was almost twice the size of this. Closet space here, and they did a Craftsman trim. This is the profile that they chose for that Craftsman trim. And then you walk right in, and you got a linen closet right here. Okay, they did a 3-panel door, hollow doors. Okay, and let's go this way first. So we'll come through and see you got the bedroom space here, one of the bedrooms, closet here. Okay, 1, 2, 3 windows in here, and you see this cutout here. Why is this here, you ask? Oh, I'm glad you asked. That's here because this is where some plumbing connections come in between the first floor and what is technically the second floor of this house, being the loft space. It's 28 by 44, this house, from a dimension standpoint, just for perspective. With the upstairs, it's north of 1,600 square feet. This bedroom feels fantastic with all these windows and the woods around here and stuff. It's just wonderful. Obviously you can see there, you know, I'm assuming they'll put the bed here on this. You got this nice big closet with the bifold doors in here. There's all the ship loose screens. Here's the bifold doors. Here's some additional trim and that for the for your baseboards and stuff like that, so that once the flooring goes in, then the baseboards go in. You wouldn't put the baseboards in first, unless you could put them in if you knew you were going to do a quarter round to kind of finish that off. But you need some sort of space and gap between the finished edge of the flooring and the wall. So that's what they would usually do. There's the toilet, usually ship loose. The flange is in. Water line is not here. Second floor, I'm sure it is. Actually, we saw that in that upstairs module already. Here's the vanity. Also, plumbing is not run into this vanity, partially because it's not really any more difficult for the plumber to just punch through the bottom of the cabinet, which is where they would typically come in. And then you can see the plumbing connections done already for the shower. So you have shower head, and you got your diverter, excuse me, and a nice window in this bathroom as well. 2 ceiling lights, plus the fan light combo, plus the vanity light. Lots of light in here for this bathroom. And so we come through here. We'll come back through, now get our bearings here. Here's our front door here, right? And then here's that closet space that we came into initially, all right? So we come down our hall, and then you get the other bathroom, vanity installed, flange installed. They did a tub shower surround in here, so that's been installed. The other one, they're gonna do tiles, so those fixtures weren't installed, but the rough plumbing pieces were installed. Similar lighting setup for this bathroom as well. And then you got your upstairs, which we'll look at in just a minute, but we'll go through the rest of this first floor first. So here's your stairs to the basement. This is the subfloor that's gonna be, you just need to cut this out, and then it'll wrap around and do a U-shaped stairs into the basement. And excuse me, and then you come through and you got your kitchen, dining room, living room space. Cabinets are all installed in advance. So you got your fridge, range, dishwasher, and sink, right? But the cabinets are all installed, okay? So they're, this is kind of speaking to the interesting piece that you have anytime you do a vaulted ceiling over your kitchen space. What is the lighting over that peninsula island? You have to think about that and how you want that done, because you probably wouldn't want something hanging all the way from the vaulted ceiling all the way down over to the top of this. So you probably just rely on the recessed lights, and that's it, which is plenty of light. It's not that it's not, but that's often a spot that people want to do kind of a feature light for. So for this house, I'd have to check the electrical plans. I can't remember if they just did it right in the middle and did like a ceiling fan light, or they're doing a light over here and then another light over here as well in the living room space. But look at all this light in here. I mean, it feels fantastic in this space, doesn't it? You got the framing for a fireplace that's going to be going in here, which is super helpful to have that framed out already, ready to go. Your triple window here, and then like we were looking at on the outside, just like that other chalet that we were looking at, you got fixed pane, and then operable door. The same thing over here on this side as well. Lets in a ton of light into the house, really opens up quite a bit. So let's go upstairs, okay? And we're going up, 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 and then you can see right here, you can see where the break line is between modules. So here's the upstairs, and here's the first floor, okay? So all this drywall needs to get finished on site, because obviously how would you do that in advance? And so the other thing is, as we're going through the rest of the elements of the house set, they'll lag these two sections together as well. I gotta watch my head here. Come down through. There we go. Okay, so these stairs need to get set. They're not set in place right now. They'll get picked up and set up here. Okay, so we land right at the edge. And then this feels nice and wide open, doesn't it? I still got to put the peak on in here, but they're just breaking for lunch right now, and then they'll come back through and do this, and then, you know, like we said before, put the sheeting on and the rest of it. So you can see the framing, or excuse me, the trim for the inside of those windows here. You can see these outside two on both sides were already done, but the inside two were not, because as you saw just a little bit ago, they were picking those up and setting those into place. And here's the wind column that we talked about before that they set in place. Goes all the way down through to the first floor. A lot of engineering involved with a build like this to make this work, get all the calculations right. It's specifically designed for the area that you're in. And then you got your bedroom space here. Okay, see if I can step without dying. Okay, there we go, I made it. And then you come through and you got your closet. Okay, and then over here you have your bathroom. This is the one that we were looking at earlier. So you can see obviously toilet's gonna go here, right? Double vanity here. And this is kind of interesting. Well, actually, this is not a vanity here. They just set it here because I was wondering what was going on there. They just set it here because it's going to go here, but as you can see right here, it crosses over the marriage line. So that vanity is shipped loose with the house. They just put it where the shower is going to go. But the shower has to be tiled on site. That was the plan, so they could do a specialty tile that they wanted to do, and then the vanity is set up. So the reason that this plumbing was run in advance is because it's up on the second floor. Because otherwise, the only way to do that would be you'd have to tear it apart. You have to tear the house apart. So as you can see on that first floor, they leave some cutouts intentionally placed so that you're not, trying to, rip the whole thing apart and stuff like that. They kind of make it nice and easy for you, but that does still need to get done on site. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video of the set day of this 4-box chalet. We're wrapping up here right now. The crane's packing up and getting ready to go. So we set the 4 modules onto the foundation, made all the structural connections between each of the 4 sections, between the house and the basement as well. Put that wind column in, which was needed for this particular house to form some extra rigidity along that window wall. Set the additional panels needed for those windows up in the middle there, and then set the rest of the roof up above the collar ties. So did all that in a day. Just need to finish shingling the roof on this. They might even be able to do some of that today as well. But hope this is helpful to you as you're thinking about your building project, trying to consider what you're gonna do, understanding the building process, what set day looks like, what's all being done, how much is done on the inside of the home is a really important thing to be noting as well. I'm sure you saw that through the rest of this video. So reach out to us about your building project. Questions you had, feel free to leave them below in the comments section. But as always, reach out to us about what you're thinking about doing and the questions you have about your specific building project. Thanks for watching.